Welcome back for another FSD video. This is going to be a relatively short one. We're just going to drive to and from the airport here. I'm dropping my wife off here for a flight. And I just want to compare. I did this trip maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now with FSD v14 Lite. And we had a lot of navigation troubles as we got to the drop-off. Now, one thing that's different here is when I zoom in towards the airport here, I dropped a pin right by the Delta counter here. And it looks like it's going to route all the way through. Before, it was like dropping a pin like way down here, like a half a mile from the door. And even after using waypoints and a bunch of other, workarounds I tried, it didn't work. And the car wanted to basically park at a parking ramp or just pull over to the side of the road, which isn't going to work. So this already looks much more promising. I don't think it's a navigation issue per se. I think it's just a difference in how the model is taking hints from navigation. Could be completely wrong, but we're going to prove that out today, one way or the other, because I'm basically doing the exact same thing as I did before with version 14 Lite. Not sure if you noticed back there, but we went by some of those crosswalks with the blowing flags, and the car didn't seem to care, but I think they may have been partially covered by the shadows. Let's see if we have it. We have some more coming up here as well. A little brake tap there, nothing major. Again, that's for that occluded speed sign there. There's a second tap, but very, very minor. I'm perfectly fine with that behavior. It's like the stronger brake taps though that drive me bonkers. So far so good today, but again, it could just be the lighting conditions. And there it's grabbing the brake. So there's again, just over the top with the brake inputs. That pedestrian wasn't going anywhere. He was waiting for us to get past him, and then he was going to cross the street. And the car grabbed a handful of brake again, or I should say a footful of brake, for no reason. It's just very skittish around people. Even that person was like on the other side of the road, had zero chance of going in front of us. It's just, again, the hesitations with these builds around pedestrians is just, it's too much. And if somebody's behind us and we do that, it puts us at risk of getting rear-ended, which is kind of a double whammy in the wrong direction there. So. Okay. All right, so that person on our left there did get to the stop line just barely before us. I will say I think a lot of human drivers, if there's a turning vehicle like that is blocking the intersecting lane from going, we would usually go on that. But I know that's probably not as the law reads it, just saying what humans would do differently, but the person behind me didn't get annoyed at all. At the end of the day, we're following the law there, so can't really blame the car for doing that. But those situations are the ones I always pay attention to with these recent builds, because we will be sometimes, even when we get to the stop line first, the car gives the other person the benefit of the doubt and will wait for them still, which people are expecting you to go. So what I want to see going forward with FSD in situations like that is when it thinks it's right, it needs to just get out into the intersection. And it doesn't have to floor it, but just start, gradually adding speed, creep out with a few miles per hour. If somebody cuts in front of you or whatever, obviously you can let them pass, but you're not going to pose any safety risk by doing that. But you're going to show everybody else more clearly that you're going, right, like a human driver would, versus just sitting at the stop line and waiting and waiting and waiting. Because we've gotten to finger pointing contests before, like the Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at each other to go, but nobody's going. So those are the situations we have to kind of avoid going forward. And I think some behavioral changes are needed for FSD to really do a better job with that. It definitely can think faster now. It just needs to do a better job of thinking when it does. So whatever felt like an eternity stuck in traffic for unknown reasons because it looked like it was just congested, just due to traffic levels. Um, the curveball comes down the pipe here at us that I'd never dealt with before. Notice the cop here behind us. He flips his lights on, the wheel wiggles, and the car immediately signals and gets over. Now I'm thinking he's trying to get around me at this point because I'm like, I'm stuck in traffic. I wasn't breaking the law. Nothing I was doing was wrong, right? So I nudge the accelerator to move the car up a little bit, and then I hold the accelerator down a little bit here after he signals again. And that's when the car thinks I'm trying to override it from pulling over. So it tries to merge back in. I cut it off here and I then bring the vehicle to a stop. But yeah, the cop was just not hand signaling the entire time. He stopped a bunch of times. It was very confusing to me. So call me an idiot, whatever. But again, I let the car pull over. I felt like it did what it was supposed to. Obviously, we're blocking a little bit of traffic there. I understand that. But at the ground level, it was kind of cool in one hand to see the edge case play out. And the car, I think, did what it was supposed to do, which was get over immediately after being pulled over. So, um, pretty cool in that regard. The reason for getting pulled over was really dumb and not very exciting. So, every year in Minnesota, you have to register your vehicle. You get a little sticker you put on your license plate for that year. It's got a special color on it, right? That's why he pulled me over. I had paid for my registration last year. I had just never put the stickers on my license plate before. So they were sitting on my desk at home, unfortunately. But what was interesting was the cop was claiming I had never paid them before. So I pushed back, and the cop did some more research and confirmed that yes, I did indeed pay my registration last year. I wasn't driving without registration. Um, he did make some threats that he could have my car towed and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, he was just giving me a citation, which I do plan to fight in court because I did pay. And yes, it was an error on my part, but I always pay my registration. I am not an idiot in that regard. I was an idiot for not putting them on my car, but I do pay my taxes and do all that stuff like an upstanding citizen that I try to be. So, yeah, lesson learned the hard way there, but it took maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes before we were back on the road. And then my wife was like, do I get out and walk? And she probably could have at this stage, but she hung out with me for the few minutes while this took over our time, unfortunately. And then we were back on our way right after that. All right, so after wrapping up with the cop there, we're ready to get back on the road here. And so I use FSD again. I engage FSD from the shoulder. Car does a great job here of getting over and merging in once it's clear to do so. And then from there, we are going to continue navigating towards my drop pin, which is right by the Delta counter, where my wife's going to go into the airport at. So when I tried this previously with version 14 Lite, I think a week or two ago, um, even though I dropped the pin, it basically ignored it the entire way. And the blue line it actually stopped maybe like a quarter mile from where we are right now. It was really weird. So I actually added waypoints up there. The car ignored them all, even when I had the pullover parking option, not parking garage set. So I'm not sure if that was just a one-off glitch with version 14 Lite, but I am going to try version 14 Lite later this week, and I'll post a short video of what that does. When I do that drive. So we kind of stay tuned for that because I'll be very interested to see if it repeats again or if it was just a fluke. But this sort of behavior here is what I'm used to seeing with FSD 14 on AI4, where you drop the pin at the airport here and it navigates no problems right to it and eventually will pull over right to the curb and it works great. Even with heavy congestion, by the way, the system does a really, really good job. Now, departures, I'm sorry, arrivals is actually underneath us. So when you're picking somebody up from the airport and you go downstairs, you're actually underground, so there's no GPS. It's been a while since I've tried that. Um, it's hard to like drop a pin on the map when there's multiple levels, right? So I don't know without having points of interest set in the car's nav how that's possible. But I always tell people to actually just come up to departures. Is less traffic usually, anyway. So. But yeah, as you'll see here, the car pulls over right to the spot here in front of the Delta counter and parks like it should. So pretty uneventful now that we finally got to the front door here at the airport. It felt like 40 minutes later. This is crazy. So after a fun side quest there of getting pulled over with FSD, I dropped my wife off without any problems, and now it's time to get back home. So again, using FSD here, navigating home, and the car does a great job here, as always, of getting out of the um, departures area up here. Um, no real issues. Again, got some traffic here. The car gets over to pass the parked car there and gets over. And then it's kind of interesting. It's a pinch point here. So it goes from like what, 3 or 4 lanes down to one. The same is true downstairs for arrivals. So very similar setup. And then they both actually merge together as you come down this ramp here. So, and there's a little chicane, if you want to call it that, from a construction work here that they're working on. I think they're redoing this part of the airport on the right side here, which I think is a G concourse. But yeah, car does a great job navigating here, and the rest of it's pretty straightforward. So I'll more than likely speed things up here as we kind of navigate away from the airport, which is pretty straightforward and kind of boring. All right, we're back to our favorite four-way stop intersection. We should have some more traffic from the sides here, but I think it's going to be relatively easy. So, yep, no issues there. Not sure if you saw that lady there backing in that parking spot, but she was a half an inch off that car's bumper. That was scary. I was nervous that she was going to hit that car. Did not want to see that happen. So let's make sure she doesn't run into us now. Oh, man. She's trying to wedge her way in here, and there is no space for her to go. So I really hope she has some patience. People drive like absolute you-know-whats around here, it seems like. I don't know why. Especially today. People are just crazy. So I can't tell if it's the crosswalk or this car to our right, but you can see the wheels are kind of positioned out. That's how they parked it. It was not moving, yet the car, for whatever reason, decided to reduce the speed by 3 miles an hour. So after reviewing this clip a few times, I'm pretty certain it was the crosswalk that the car was slowing for again, even though it was empty. The visibility is not great there. So if there is going to be one crosswalk where the car always slows a little bit for, it should be that one. And I'm fine with that. So I don't think that's an issue. Be very curious to know what you guys think about that. All right, we are just about all the way home here. So, minus some traffic, we had one episode this entire time on both passes of Cleveland there where the car, I would say, unnecessarily hit the brakes. Maybe you could say 2 times max, but overall, otherwise, the trip was pretty smooth. Fortunately, getting pulled over wasn't super awesome, but and another thing I've noticed here too is if I come from this direction sometimes, the car will just basically want to park on this side of the street and not park by my detached garage, even though that's where the pin is dropped and everything. So, again, this is again a good example of with FSD now, especially these later builds, even when a pin is dropped, it very rarely ever follows the pin drop for whatever reason. A lot of times now, it pretty much ignores it and just goes to a spot it thinks is close enough nearby and doesn't, I would say, make a best effort like it used to in older releases where it would go, I would say, within, 100 feet of the pin. Now it's like it will park a quarter mile away and think that's fine, which is not fine. So the parking logic is just not very good in these current builds here. So. Well, that kind of wraps it up for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.